Welcome to Ag Matters, covering positive agriculture stories from across Alaska on Big Cabbage Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ag Matters. I'm your host, Ken Hoffman. I own the farm Matsu Microgreens here in Palmer, but I'm also the executive director of the Alaska Farm Bureau. If you're interested about agriculture, want to become a farmer, just want to meet farmers, network, you could always visit our website at alaskafb.org and check out all the information, or you could email me directly at khoffman@alaskafb.org. So speaking of Farm Bureau, we have my good friend Amy Seitz. She's calling in from Soldotna. Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good, Ken. How are you doing?
Hey, doing super. It's a little wet out here in Palmer. Amy is the policy director of the Alaska Farm Bureau, and she was the previous executive director. She's been with Farm Bureau for quite a while. She knows everything about it. She's the boss. So Amy is on the line today to tell us about the upcoming event that we are putting on. So Amy, take it away.
Well, thank you, Ken. And I just want to say that I'm really excited to get to be working with you as the new boss for Farm Bureau.
Maybe in a little while, but you're the boss.
Yeah, so thank you for having me on today. As you mentioned, we have our conference coming up, and I'm really excited this year because we'll have the Alaska Agriculture Conference, which we've been partnering with Western SARE for several years on that. This year, we get to feature a grazing land symposium along with the Alaska Agriculture Conference. So we're going to have just a whole slew of different speakers and topics for the 3 days, November 13th through 15th. Livestock, hay, grain producers. We have a lot of different subject matter around there. We have a lot of floriculture presentations happening, business planning, marketing, a beekeeping session. Obviously, we probably won't hit every sector of agriculture, but we're trying to do as many as possible.
That's exciting. So tell us a little bit about the Grazing Lands Symposium. Is that another organization, or what is that?
Yeah, so this is a new partnership this year, Homer Soil and Water Conservation District, through working with NRCS. I received a grant to put on this Grazing Lands Symposium. So it's all things related to grazing livestock. So everything from livestock nutrition, handling your livestock, to pasture management, growing hays and grains for the livestock. We have a session on regenerative agriculture, native grasses for hay and pasture. There will be a session on winter grazing, since we do, especially coming into the winter months. That might be of interest. Then also more technical side, getting grazing leases, things like that, working with state agencies on various different matters.
So is there a particular session that you think is going to be pretty interesting that you're maybe the most excited about? Because I know that your personal farm, Lancashire Farm, you are into livestock, so you have sheep and chickens out there. Is there anything that you're interested in the conference about?
Picking one or two sessions that I'm excited about, that's really hard because there's so many. We're going to have Full Bush coming up, and she's going to be talking about low-stress animal handling, which I think that is going to be an interesting one. And even just Jerry Doan, he's one of the keynotes, is talking about regenerative ag, what that means, what it looks like for your farm, that, and even Jack Enterprises. So if you're interested in adding some new enterprise opportunities to your or my farm. So it's so hard to pick one or two of them.
So would you say that this conference is mostly geared or suited towards farmers who are already farming and commercially viable? Or is this conference also a great way for people that are interested in ag or maybe thinking about becoming a farmer someday, that they should also go to this conference as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we always try to have both, whether you're an experienced Alaska farmer or rancher or you're interested or just starting out. We really try to have things for the whole mix. And I would say if you're looking into it or you've just started, we'll have a significant block of time looking at your business development, how to make the business plan, all the things that go into starting, maintaining, running your farming business, and also financial resources, and even just getting started out. You're trying to figure out soil health stuff. We have several different sessions on that, which I think are good for beginning farmers, people just looking into it, or if you've been farming for a long time. I think those type of topics are useful for a whole range of levels. Some on weed control and impacts on your soil health. I think that's something that whether you've been doing it a long time or just starting out should be of interest.
For sure. One of my favorite aspects of going to these conferences, I think I've been to the 2 or 3 previous agriculture conferences, is the networking opportunities, the folks that you meet, the other farmers, everybody that seems to have similar worldview and life experiences. It's great to meet people that are similar to you and to share ideas. And there's so many different industries in agriculture that it's a great place to just kind of meet and get to talk to people who are in livestock, get to talk to people who are doing commercial peony farming and shipping it out of state, get to talk to folks who are running farmers markets. The thing I'm really looking forward to at this conference are meeting the distributors. We're going to have a produce distributor roundtable or panel that we're still working out the details for, but that's going to be really great for folks that want to get into vegetables. Since I'm a vegetable farmer, that's what I really enjoy. And so if you want to grow vegetables and possibly sell them to the grocery store or restaurants or distributors, this is the place to go and meet those potential buyers. So
yeah, if you're wanting to scale up. I'm really excited for the panel too and working out the details on that. But also, the different steps needed to reach those markets, the insurance needs, certification needs, kind of helping with those different steps to reach those larger markets.
Yeah, for sure. So, fine details on this event. Is it open only to Alaska Farm Bureau members, general members, or associate members? Or is it available to the whole public and you just have to get a ticket?
It's available to everyone. Obviously, we really want our Farm Bureau members to be there, and especially since we have our business meeting where we set our priorities on Saturday. We want our Farm Bureau members there, definitely. It's open to everyone in the farming and ranching community, everyone who's interested in agriculture. We welcome everyone. You mentioned the networking, which that is one of my favorite parts, and it's always hard at these conferences because all the sessions are great, and there's multiple sessions going on all throughout the day. And then you also want to talk to all the people, so it's hard to decide where to go. And then we'll have vendors, so there's the networking with different agencies or companies who are also in the agriculture community, whether it's input needs, the different businesses there, or the different agencies figuring out DEC or Division of Ag, where to go for different resources.
Yeah, for sure. The conference is jam-packed with information and people that you want to talk to. You're right. The vendor hall, there's so many great vendors there that you want to talk to. There's your friends are there, and then the breakout sessions. You just can't be at 3 places at once. So you have to make friends, and you have to take notes and share notes with your buddies if you want to get all the info. Will there be any recordings for any of the sessions, maybe like at least the keynote sessions, or do you have to be there physically to get the info?
Actually, we're going to be offering it hybrid, so if you're not able to travel to Anchorage, and I guess that's one important thing, it's at the downtown Anchorage Sheraton, but if you're not able to travel to Anchorage, there is the virtual attendance option. We're also recording all of them. So if there's multiple sessions you're interested in, you can go to one and then go back and watch the session later that you missed.
Yeah, for sure. So how does one purchase a ticket to go to this event? And does that ticket include all 3 days of the event? Should ticket growers even go to all 3 days? What is the breakdown on the calendar, and what does the ticket get you?
There's multiple different ticket options. So I guess the first thing, where to go to get them. The Alaska Farm Bureau's website, we have our conference page, and that's a registration link. Homer Soil and Water also has an event page for the conference and Grazing Land Symposium. It's radio. It's hard for people to write down addresses. But if you just Google 2025 Alaska Agriculture Conference, both the Homer Soil and Water page and the Alaska Farm Bureau page pop up. There's also an event page on Facebook for the conference. And if you can select 1 day, 2 days, all 3 days on the banquet, because we just have Thursday evening, we'll have the reception, which there's not a separate ticket. But then Friday, we have a banquet, which is a great networking opportunity also. If you want to go to all 3 days, you can pick that. There will be Thursday the 13th that is focused on the Grazing Land Symposium. So that's obviously focused towards our livestock catering producers. Then Friday and Saturday will be the larger ACT conference. It'll cover all the different topics. The floriculture track. We'll have business and marketing sessions. We'll have soil-related, soil health, weed control, inputs for your soil amendments and their impacts on the soil. So, yeah, Friday, Saturday, we'll have the broader topic. We will, on Friday, there will still be some of the Grazing Land Symposium topics.
Yeah, exciting.
I think that answered the questions around ticketing.
I think so. How much does a ticket cost? I don't know when this episode will air, but is there an early bird registration? Has that deadline already passed?
So the early bird ended yesterday. But we try to keep the ticket pricing affordable. So I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this. But if you just register for a day, it's $45 a day. And then there's some discounts if you register like all 3 days. It's a little over $100. I'm trying to remember exactly. And then if you register for all 3 days plus the banquet, I want to say that one's $160.
Wait, banquet?
Our Friday night banquet.
Okay.
If you register for everything, it gets you all 3 days of the conference and then a ticket to the Friday night banquet.
Amazing. So it's a separate ticket for the banquet, or you're saying you can get the ultimate ticket for all 3 days and the banquet? Yeah.
So that's a full package, all 3 days in the banquet. But there's always people maybe have other plans in the evening, so not everyone goes to the banquet, and we realize that. You can have the option of just buying by the day or buying a full package where it's all 3 days and the banquet. You could also buy 2 days and a banquet. It can't go to all 3 days. But yeah, so if you get on there, and then there's also the virtual registration tickets. So yeah, if you get onto the registration site, you try to make it flexible for people's schedules. I know, for farmers, it's not always easy to get off the farm.
Yeah, I love conference season. It's always been one of the highlights of my fall and winter time. Normally, most farms are kind of slowing down in October, so November is a great time to network and meet with folks and start planning for the next season and join Farm Bureau. So maybe we could talk a little bit about Alaska Farm Bureau. Give us a short history lesson on how you got involved, and then we can talk about why we think it's the best thing for farmers to do here in Alaska.
I don't even remember when I first joined the Farm Bureau. I started as just a member of the Farm Bureau, attending our local chapter meetings, which I highly encourage people to start getting involved in your local chapter meetings. And hopefully there's educational opportunities and networking opportunities in the local areas there. That's how I started. I was a member, and then the previous executive director decided to retire, and I was wanting to focus more on the farms, trying to not go back to Juneau since I was a legislative aide prior to my job with Farm Bureau. So I applied, and I think it's been over 10 years. 2014, I think, I became the executive director for Farm Bureau. Yeah, I really think the organization is great, and obviously, the more members, the more engagement we have from our farmers and ranchers, the better the organization will be. And that's kind of bringing you and Carly on, expanding the staff capacity. I'm really excited to see where the organization is now.
Yeah, for sure. Carly is doing an amazing job. She was just hired as the communications director. So if you follow Alaska Farm Bureau on Facebook, and you should, there's lots of Facebook posts coming out now. Great looking Facebook posts. We're trying to get more engaged with our members. Oh, yeah. Definitely follow us on social media. And if you have any questions on Farm Bureau, you could always comment, and we'll be there and we'll answer your questions.
One thing about Farm Bureau, over the years, obviously I've been asked a lot about what Farm Bureau is, what we do. We're just some organization out there. And you and I have even talked about it. Like in my mind, Alaska Farm Bureau's job, we are here to advocate for Alaska's farmers and ranchers, and that's what I've tried to do. I know you're excited to be part of that, and not just at the policy level, which for me, that's kind of my passion is having good policy in place, but advocating to the different market options, why they should buy local, out to the consumer on the importance of buying from a local farm. So I think there's a lot that goes into advocating for the ag community.
Yeah, for sure. It's a way to give farmers a louder voice in the political sphere, for sure. A lot of politicians don't know much about agriculture. They don't know much about where our food comes from and what farmers need and all of our experiences. So by joining Farm Bureau, you have a direct line of communication. You can tell us, the leadership team, or you can join the leadership team. That's even better. We're always taking in new leaders. And we go to Juneau every springtime, and you can speak directly with the representatives, the senators, and have your voice heard on what you think needs to happen. So it's a great opportunity. It's been huge for my business. I joined Farm Bureau 3 years ago, and I was elected vice president of my chapter instantly, just because I showed some interest and I was younger. And since then, I've just worked my way up, and it's been huge for my business. So I think all farmers For sure. Should join. The networking is amazing.
Yeah. At Alaska Farm Bureau and the conference, one important thing I think for our membership is our business meeting on Saturday. We're a grassroots organization, so our membership directs a lot of what we do. But Saturday at our business meeting is where we set our priority for the coming year. So that's where our membership will tell us this is what we think is really important to focus on for the coming year. And the more engagement we have, the better we can represent.
That's right. That's for sure. Yes, you guys should definitely come to our annual meeting on Saturday, November 15th. And is it true that if you just wanted to come to the annual meeting as a Farm Bureau member, you can? You don't necessarily have to purchase a ticket, or was that just previous years?
Yeah, and we'll do that. If you just want to come to the business meeting, and it's going to be 8 to noon on Saturday the 15th, you can come just to that session.
That's a great idea. Cool.
We don't have a specific ticket for that right now, but it reminds me we should probably put one on there. So you can show up 8 to noon on Saturday the 15th for the business meeting for Farm Bureau.
Excellent. And that's a great way to meet the leadership team for Farm Bureau, meet our president, Scott, who's doing an excellent job, and then you can meet the rest of us staff members, Ken, me, Amy, and Carly. So us three. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think everybody should go. Even if you're just interested in ag or you want to learn a little bit more, you should come.
I agree. It's going to be the place to be in November.
That's right. And then you can share your opinions on what you want us to do for the next year. So it's just so we can get better and better every year.
Coming to the annual meeting and hear at least some ideas on what we're looking at for the coming year of expanding the organization.
Yep. Come and talk to me and give me some of your ideas. I'm a little bit crazy, so I'll take all of your thoughts and I'll try to do my best to execute them. So it'll be a lot of fun. So, Amy, do you have any last words for our audience for them to know about Farm Bureau or the conference in general?
I would say, we're finalizing the schedule, the agenda on the websites, both ours and Homer Soil and Water. Right now we just kind of have topics laid out. The details will be coming out soon. So if you either follow the Facebook page or jump on our website, we'll be starting to get out more details on what the agenda looks like.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for taking time to call in. I know you've been busy planning this conference and dealing with your own farm, so we really appreciate it, and I'm really excited for the conference. So thank you, everybody, for listening to our show, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.
You've been listening to Ag Matters, covering positive agriculture stories from across Alaska on Big Cabbage Radio. Ag Matters is a production of Radio Free Palmer, recorded at our studios in Palmer, Alaska. For more information about this program, email manager@radiofreepalmer.org.